How much emergency fund do you really need? An emergency fund is money you set aside for unexpected expenses, not for investing, not for shopping, not for upgrading your lifestyle. It exists for one simple reason: to protect you when life doesn't go as planned. Because the reality is, no matter how well you plan, life is unpredictable. At some point, something will happen. It could be a medical emergency, a sudden job loss, a car breakdown, or even an urgent repair at home. And when these things happen, they usually come without warning. If you don't have an emergency fund, you may end up relying on credit cards, loans, or borrowing from others, and that can quickly turn a short-term problem into long-term financial stress. Now, most people have heard this advice: save 3 to 6 months of expenses. And yes, that's a good starting point. But here's the truth: that number is not one size fits all, because everyone's financial life is different. Your ideal emergency fund depends on your situation, your income, your job stability, your responsibilities, and even your comfort level with risk. Let's start with income. If you have a stable job with a fixed monthly salary, your income is predictable. You know when your paycheck is coming, and you know roughly how much it will be. That reduces your financial risk. In this case, saving around 3 months of expenses is often enough to handle most short-term disruptions. But now consider the opposite. If your income is unpredictable, maybe you're freelancing, running a business, or earning through commissions, your income might change every month. Some months are great, others not so much, and that uncertainty increases your risk. So in this situation, you should aim for at least 6 months of expenses, and in some cases, even more than that, because your emergency fund needs to cover not just emergencies, but also income gaps. Now let's talk about responsibilities. Ask yourself a few simple questions. Do you have people depending on your income? Do you have loans, EMIs, or fixed monthly payments? Are your living expenses already high? If the answer is yes, then your financial obligations are higher, and that means your safety net needs to be stronger, because during an emergency, your responsibilities don't pause. Your bills still need to be paid, your family still depends on you, your commitments still exist. So how do you actually calculate your emergency fund? Start by understanding your monthly essentials. Focus only on what you truly need to live. This includes rent or mortgage, groceries, utility bills, transportation, insurance, and minimum loan payments. Try to keep this number realistic. Don't include luxury expenses like dining out, subscriptions, or shopping. Once you have your monthly expense number, multiply it by the number of months you want protection for. For example, if your essential monthly expenses are £2,000 and you want 6 months of safety, you'll need around £12,000. It's a simple calculation, but it creates a powerful safety net. Now here's something very important to understand. Your emergency fund is not an investment. It's not meant to grow aggressively. It's not there to make you money. Its job is different. Its job is to protect you, which means it needs to be safe, it needs to be stable, and it needs to be accessible anytime. So where should you keep it? Avoid putting this money into stocks, mutual funds, or any risky assets, because markets go up and down, and if you need your money during a downturn, you might be forced to sell at a loss. That defeats the whole purpose of an emergency fund. Instead, keep it in a high-interest savings account, somewhere your money is protected, easy to access, and still earns a small return. Now let's talk about a mistake many people make. Some people save too little. They assume nothing will go wrong, or underestimate how much they actually need. And when an emergency happens, they're not prepared. On the other hand, some people save too much. They keep a very large amount sitting in cash, far beyond what they actually need. And while that feels safe, it can slow down their financial growth, because that money isn't being invested or working for them. So the key is balance. You want enough to feel secure, but not so much that it holds you back from building wealth. Also remember, building an emergency fund doesn't happen overnight. You don't need to save everything at once. Start small. Even saving 1 month of expenses is a great first step. Then gradually build it up over time. Consistency matters more than speed. At the end of the day, there is no perfect number, only the number that works for you, based on your life, your risks, and your priorities. A well-built emergency fund does more than just cover expenses. It gives you confidence during uncertain times. It gives you stability when things go wrong. And most importantly, it gives you peace of mind, because when you know you're prepared, you don't panic. And that is what true financial security really looks like.